In every group, society, or nation, there are established laws which are duly recognized and observed, but failure to comply with existing laid down laws will lead to punitive measures. Could be incarceration for a said sentence or oftentimes capital punishment. There and then we value what we never valued. I'm talking about freedom here. Our right to freedom is actually right, but when abused, it's actually wrong. Now, when found on the wrong side of the law, the tendency is to land in jail or a correctional facility. But again, the state of the Nigerian prison system presents a complex web of challenges that require urgent and comprehensive solutions. Today's show analysis sheds light on the various factors contributing to prison congestion, including issues at the police, judiciary, and prisons stages of the criminal justice system. These include indiscriminate arrest, inadequate investigations, abuse of bail procedures, and prolonged detention without trial. I'm Odiawa AI, your host on the Vigilant podcast today, and I've got with me my sidekick.
Oluwakolumi, aware of the show.
We also have Lawrence with us on the show. Lawrence, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Lawrence Oluwacho.
Yeah, with him and my sidekick here, Oluwapelumi, where we will be digging into your ears on the possible reforms in the prisons or correctional facilities in Nigeria. Do well to subscribe and follow us across various social media platforms, Veegil Media. Ms. Lawrence, actually, let's go straight to the point. Have you been incarcerated before?
Oh, no, I haven't.
But you've committed an offense before?
I haven't either.
Say the truth.
No.
Even in primary school?
So the thing is this, there are even some offenses that many of us commit sometimes that we don't even know that they are offenses in the face of the law. Like there are so many laws, like, different laws, the ones that governments have, should I say constituted. Then there are laws that are, should I say our parents have laid down for us. Mm-hmm. There are laws within communities, which are not like recognized by the governments constitutionally, but there are still laws regardless.
Those are flexible laws.
Yeah, exactly. But we all know that you should not steal, you should not kill. Like there are basic laws.
10 commandments.
Exactly. So don't rape your fellow man, don't steal, don't rob, don't kill people, don't
take over another man's wife.
Exactly. Things like that basically. So I would say, yeah, there might be some scenarios whereby maybe some of us may have committed some laws that are not necessarily punishable under the law.
Do you agree with Mr. Lawrence here? He said he has not even actually committed an offense, even in primary school, that will earn him 6 strokes of a cane. We're starting on a lighter note.
I have. I'm not saying I haven't. I mean,
but you just committed an offense. You lied.
Yeah, but I can't go to prison for this kind of lie.
No, it's called libel. Yes, we can sue you for that.
You cannot, because there isn't
we're talking about the criminal justice system here. You just lied.
Yeah, but I'm not lying under the host. Like there's no I can. Okay,
there's no Bible to say, do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Apart from that, we are not in the courts. We are not like in a settings, in a judiciary settings whereby I'll be required not to lie. That can be held against me afterwards.
Okay, that's aside. That's just on a lighter note. Pelumi, over to you. Can we hear what we have for Lawrence?
I think our conversation today is more about the situation of prison in Nigeria, and I think we should start from the point of a person who committed an offense. So I would ask Lawrence, what's the procedure like? Somebody has just been caught stealing or killing somebody in the market. What should happen after that time? So
now I will normally what should happen is like such person should be prosecuted, taken to the court, taken to police station, maybe handed over to the police, then maybe they should be taken to court, for fair trial, because everybody deserves a fair trial.
So let's start from the person gets arrested. That's first thing.
Yeah.
Person gets taken to the police station.
Yeah.
What happens next?
So the person should be taken to court after, because normally in the constitution it's stated that people should not be held for, I think, over
more than 48 hours.
Yeah, over 48 hours. So people should be charged to court straight up. So, even if you don't have a lawyer, the state is going to provide you a lawyer,
But have we been able to live up to that capacity?
That is the problem. So where I'm going to now is that the people of the society, like the current society of Nigeria, don't even have any faith in the government anymore. So that is why we now have this rampant issue of jungle justice, whereby people just take the laws into their hand, because they're like, even if we arrest this person and we take this person to court, this person that just killed someone, it's possible that he's going to go scot-free, because we don't even know those who are behind him in the first place. So that is one. Now on the other hand, let's say the person even gets arrested and then gets taken to the police station. Such person who doesn't have access to a lawyer, the state doesn't provide him a lawyer, for fair trial. At least maybe he can defend himself. Like, oh, okay, what really happened is that the person attacked me. That was why I killed them. Or something happened. Nigeria. I want to sue Tinubu because Nigeria has shattered my dream. So I decided to start committing kidnapping. I started kidnapping people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yes, you might think he's right. What he did is wrong, but everybody deserves fair trial. Like, that's the constitution. Like, it's the human right. But the fact that the state doesn't even provide you with a lawyer, you can finance on yourself. So you find yourself in prison. So you find yourself jailed, not even imprisoned. Most people are jailed because there's a difference between them, like prison sentence. You get sentenced, like they give you a year.
I think we're going to get that in the moment, but just to pin on one of the things you said.
Okay.
Now, somebody gets arrested for killing someone in the market, and then you say that the person should not stay there more than 48 hours. So, what's the duration of investigation? And I wanted to be very sincere. I started in Nigeria. Yeah. I've seen movies made in outside the country where they have their everything working. There's a camera that captured when the person was killed. Yeah. So, would you say that 48 hours is enough for investigation to happen, or what's happening in that space?
So
no. Actually, I think maybe it's a case of being held for 48 hours when investigations have not been brought up, right, Lawrence? Is that what you're
exactly? Because usually now take for example, the example you stated, somebody was caught, in a situation. So being caught in that situation, yes, you get arrested, you get taken to the jail, to prison.
As a suspect?
As a suspect.
Okay.
Even everybody is a suspect, in fact. Even if you found killing someone, they still use suspects for you. So there are now degrees. Like, that's where the fair judgment comes in. Like, okay, assuming...
Okay, let's break it down like this.
Okay.
On a layman note.
Okay.
A motorist owns a particular car.
Okay.
And cocaine is found in his car.
Exactly.
Or maybe substance, hard drugs, is found in his car. A situation whereby he carried a friend to the club last night and that fellow forgot it in the car because he or she was under the influence of that substance.
Yeah.
And this innocent owner of the car is being picked up by the police the following day.
Yeah.
He's a suspect, right?
Of course.
Now, if more than 48 hours, they've not been able to land prints on his of his fingers, they've not been able to run those checks and found him guilty. Mm-hmm. Where does the police now come in?
So he gets arrested.
Yep.
Okay. So he's in jail.
Yeah.
So normally, even on that spot, while he's been arrested, they're supposed to carry out a very thorough. Yes, he's a suspect. He's definitely going to prison. Like, the fact that you're in possession of such material. I mean, the police that caught you, they are not they are not foreseers. They are not prophets. So they don't know what happened in the past, and they can't just trust you based on what you said. They have to carry out their own investigation out from their own hand. You get the point I'm trying to make. So although the point is 48 hours, definitely. I mean, there are some unsolved cases that are taking decades. I mean, was it not recently that a man was recently arrested? Not arrested, but sort of he incriminated himself over the death of Tupac. Tupac has died since, was it not 1996?
About 20 years ago.
More than 20 years ago.
Soulja Knight is his name.
Not Suge Knight. The man is associated with PDD. So there was some rumbling that happened last year. I think it was towards the end of last year. But the point I'm trying to make is as advanced as a country like America is, cameras everywhere and this and that. It's so mysterious that an elaborate murder like that couldn't be solved.
So it therefore means that even within the police force, there are people doctoring evidence.
Yeah, but yes, of course, there are always going to be bad eggs within every organization. Even so, there will be good eggs, there will be bad eggs. Of course, definitely. But that doesn't change the fact that the police are should be well equipped enough, to be able to take thorough investigation.
Is our police actually armed with tools to carry out forensic checks?
I with what I've seen, with what we've seen, I don't even want to say me alone. Like with most of what we've seen and what we've heard.
I know they do.
Yeah. So the way I'm trying to make it. Okay. Now, take for example, there's a guy on social media. His name is Jimmy Agbaje. Maybe you've heard of him. He's a social media, like a doctor. A lawyer. I don't know. Maybe he's really practicing.
He's a lawyer, civil activist.
Exactly. So now he said something some times ago, and I really reasoned with it. He said, "Okay, assuming your girlfriend came to your house, and your girlfriend died in your house, and then the next day, that's what should you do?" So he said, "Okay, the first thing is take the lady to the hospital at least to confirm. The doctor is the one that has to give the report that this person is really dead." Okay, apart from that, definitely you'll be arrested from the hospital. Like police will come, like arrest or take yourself to the police station.
The arrest doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be
exactly, but take yourself
for the
exactly,
act.
but take yourself to the police station and then report the issue, and then get yourself a lawyer.
You're not charged for murder or manslaughter.
So now, where I'm going to with that is this: in a sane country, in a sane environment, there's nothing wrong with doing an autopsy sponsored by the state. You get what I'm saying? Okay, what if that lady died of heart attack? Maybe in her sleep. Maybe she's been having a heart problem or something. Because we have this issue in Nigeria. Everything is termed ritual. If somebody dies, maybe somebody's girlfriend dies, is the guy use that for ritual. Everything is ritual. So to the point that everybody's most scared to house people nowadays. But the point I'm trying to make is like there should be forensic equipment, just like you mentioned earlier. To be able. So all these investigations, yes, they definitely take time, of course. But due to the fact that the individual in question, have a good lawyer, or maybe a lawyer is provided for them, they could be placed on house arrest, or they could be placed on maybe local arrest, or what's it called, like you won't be able to leave the country or something like that, or maybe leave the state or the vicinity where you live.
Your international passport.
Exactly. So all those things should be in place. Not everything should be like you're going to judge, you're going to carry every time, because there are some things that required proper investigation, like proper rule that cannot be solved within that 48 hours. Definitely.
All right. Now I think the scenario I painted, it seems to be an extreme situation where somebody killed someone.
Yeah.
And let's say someone who just stole. I mean, just stole. I don't think stealing is just stealing.
Yeah.
Person maybe took around 100,000 naira and it gets arrested. What's the bail procedure like? But someone who was caught stealing 100,000 naira, what's the bail procedure like?
So usually, what I from my understanding of the law, so usually whenever you find yourself in situations, the first thing is you should get a lawyer. There shouldn't even be any conversation between you and any law enforcement agency.
You are talking about me, not me.
No, when I'm saying you, I'm not referring to you.
No, but you're just
he was pointing there.
Okay,
I've not done anything.
You. So you understand what I'm trying to make. So like you don't necessarily, like, the person doesn't. So you have the right, because it's stated in the Constitution, like it's part of your human right. So all you just have to do is get a professional, because there are situations whereby we know about people getting tortured to the point that they even lied on themselves because they are scared
of the impact of the torture.
Exactly. So they're like, okay, and we know that's what happens in Nigeria. Like, so, and there have been scenarios whereby people get exchanged. Okay, these people,
identities.
Exactly. Wow. These people look like, okay, let's release this one, keep this one in prison, and change the identity of this one as the criminal. So there's a lot of things going on,
anomalies,
exactly, going on underneath that we do not know. So the person, to answer that question, basically, I would say that the first thing is to try yourself, try as much as possible to get a lawyer, definitely. So even if you can't afford, like I mentioned earlier, the state is supposed to always provide you all those things, because there's always a state lawyer that's okay. The government will say that, okay, if you can't afford one, don't worry, we'll get you one that will come and defend you in the court, because everybody, once again, is open to fair trial.
I have a question.
Okay.
In a system where you find yourself as, now let me not just restrict it to Nigeria alone, Africa in general.
Okay.
When you're being arrested, the police will let you understand that if you don't have a lawyer, the state will provide one for you.
Yeah.
How well enlightened are the citizens aware of the fact that the states can even provide a lawyer for them? Talk less of even much more affording a lawyer.
I don't think an average Nigerian even know their basic human rights. Yeah, I mean it's very simple. I mean it's straightforward. So an average Nigerian doesn't even know that. Okay, I'm entitled to this. Police is not supposed to do that.
Are we actually entitled to that in Nigeria?
Yes, we are. Basically, yes, we are. So
you are even laughing.
Are you afraid?
No. Okay, now take for example.
It's not a military regime where they
Yeah,
say
of
freedom
course.
of
So, now take for
speech you can
example.
guarantee,
Yeah,
but
take
freedom
for
of speech you can't guarantee.
Take for example. Back in the days of the SARS,
Okay,
when-
2020.
exactly. So way back, SARS has been around, I think, since like 2012 or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Before they eventually got scrapped. So back then, they just profile you. Everything just has to do with profiling. Oh, okay, look at this guy. He's wearing black. Oh, okay. Look at this.
He dresses too
He's
fine.
definitely a Yahoo boy. Just
US
comes to
chain.
yeah, they just come to you. Hey. Collect your phone.
What
Put
work do you do?
Put you in their bus, carry you into one bush. Alpha 200,000 to be yourself. If you don't, they have a gun. I mean, in front of a gun. So it's more or less like a kidnapping. So when we have legal practitioners, police, who are supposed to uphold the law, doing something like that. So it has bred this this situation of mistrust between the people and then the law enforcement agents. You get the point. So that is why most people don't even believe that things like that even work, because they'll be like, the moment you get wherever makes you to find yourself in the prison, in the police station, the moment you find yourself in the police station, that's most people's belief. You're definitely going to pay your way out. It's not like you just go and then you come out. Don't worry. We realize that you're not the one that stole the money. You are free to go now. No, it doesn't work that way.
So you're indirectly trying to say the
believe-
security agencies are more or less like hyenas feasting on the law.
So people believe that. So that's what most people believe,
Okay.
and it's quite evident. It's not because there's something that breed that belief. It's not like that belief just came out of nowhere. It is based on the reality that most people has faced. So that's just the fact.
Okay, I think we've dwelt too much on the police stage. First stage is the police stage, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving over to the
Judiciary.
judiciary, which is the interpreting arm of the government. Actually, it's been a case of they are not actually independent. Why? Because of their credibility and status.
Yeah.
And also, we see some kind of nepotism going on from meting out judgments. They tend to pay more attention to election cases more than even human rights cases.
Yeah, because those one brings in more money.
Wow.
So why would they care about an individual that doesn't have any money?
But these individuals voted those during elections into office. So which is more paramount?
Yeah, but we all know that at the end of the day, I don't want to say we don't matter, but do we really matter? Let's think about it. Like, do the general public really matter? When it comes to decision making, as far as the Nigerian government is concerned.
Yeah, I think let me even ask the question concerning the bill reforms on that. Will you have something else to ask concerning the judiciary phase?
Well, a question that comes to mind immediately is, do we have a system that respects the bail order? Do we actually have a system that respects that? Because sometimes I've read of stories, Shore is an example, but I also learned that not everyone can be granted bail based on why the person was arrested. So the question would now be, do we have a system that respects the bail order from a court?
I don't think there is, because I think there's been a scenario whereby, apart from that Shore's matter, I think what's the former CBN governor's name? Emefiele. I think
Why don't you remember the former CBN governor's name? Are you not politically or economically alive?
Yeah, I am, but
Because
the man is so unpopular.
Or is it because of what
the
he
man
did
is
in
so the man is so
2023 to you?
unpopular. It's so unpopular among Nigerians that nobody even cares to remember his name. So that's why. So yeah, so there was this hoo-ha between the people that were holding him versus what the court said.
Okay,
back
the
then.
DSS and the correctional officers.
So because the DSS felt like I don't know the kind of authority or the jurisdiction that they have, that they felt like the judiciary, the order from the court doesn't exist, doesn't affect their own jurisdiction or something like that. So Yeah, so we live in a country. We live in a country whereby some people just feel like they're above the law. It's not like they feel. It's sort of what happens. Like it's more or less like a reality. There are people who are above the law. Let's just face the fact. There are people who are above the law.
These people are called what?
I don't know. There are people. I mean, there are people. They are sitting somewhere. You know, they are.
We call them the bourgeoisie.
Yeah, or the should I say the matrons? Oh, sorry, the patrons. You know, or the godfathers. You know.
Oh, the godfathers.
We may not really know them. We don't even know them, but you know, it's just a call. It's a phone call to a governor. Or
for you to be aware of such information, it therefore means you know one godfather.
I don't know one per se, but I'm just gonna say that these things are based on experiences, you know, based on questions that has been asked, you know, based on interviews with people, you know. So it's based on experiences of people that those things has happened to. Now there was a case of I don't want to dabble into military because I think they have their own jurisdiction. I think maybe their own jurisdiction.
Military is its own society on its own.
Yeah, it's quite different. But the point
you don't
is,
want to be court-martialed.
Yeah, but the point is, if a soldier comes into the civilian world, he has to adapt to the civilian world because he's going to fall under the laws of the So where am I going now? There was this case that Governor Sanwo-Olu arrested some soldiers because they were passing through the wrong way.
Taking one way.
Yeah, they were taking one way. So the soldiers came and then they were so entitled and then they were rambling across social media that why would the governor, ordinary civilian, if you're arresting them, if you're doing this, if you're doing that, like and it's something that is very evident. You know, soldiers come around, they just do anyhow, they cut the lines, maybe people are on the queue, they just come and they stay in the front because they believe that we are soldiers. But the point is, this is not the barracks, you get. So that's where I'm going about some people are above the law. So even it doesn't necessarily have to be people with agbada or people with 100 billion or something like that. They're just normal regular people like us, but because they are wearing uniforms, you know, in traffic, we have people in traffic, they will just come with their sirens. There are things that happen. They come with their sirens. Just on it's the person might just even be a driver of maybe one agency, a government agency, but because they have a siren on their Hilux, they just turn on the siren and then start chasing everybody on the road, and then you get the point. So some people
let's not digress now. Coming over to the judiciary now, as regards the prisoner who has been apprehended and being tried in court now. The judiciary on its own part now, as regards the suspect or prisoner who is yet to be found guilty, it's upon being found guilty, he's taken to a correctional facility. Now, keying into these soldiers which you've used as an analysis extensively now, the question now is, for instance, those soldiers who were found along mile 2 Okoko road access by someone for plying one way. The question now is, if they are tried in court now, will they now say leniency will be granted to them or dismissal or preferential treatment will also be given to them? Why? Because of who they are, the status. That's one. Secondly, another profiling now we want to do now. One influential senator's child is being tried. Now, I'm mentioning this category of people. Now, a senator's child is being tried in court. Then now, a third person, a commoner, is being tried in court. How will the judiciary treat these cases? Why? Because they are meant to be independent as an arm that actually interprets the law. I mentioned the soldier as one of the untouchables. Then I mentioned a senator who is more or less like a bourgeoisie.
Exactly.
Then now, a commoner who has nothing.
Okay, now, before I answer those questions, I want to ask you a question before I answer the question.
Okay.
So, do you think if Ekweremadu was in Nigeria during that arrest, you know, that case of kidney...
human parts.
Exactly, human part harvest. Do you think if it was in Nigeria, do you think all those things are going to happen?
No.
Despite the fact that it was in UK, we have Nigerian pastors, big people, you know, top officials still sending letters over there, trying to defend him. That's hey, this and that, so please forgive him.
That's a system that functions.
Exactly. So the point I'm trying to make
So
is
we're boiling down to a system that apparently does or does not function.
exactly. So So I'm just trying to throw that out there so that you can get an understanding of where I'm going as
To
far
our
as
listeners out there.
exactly. So that they can understand that
Are you being proverbial with your answers?
not being proverbial, but it's something that it's not like it's something that is evident, like it's something that we can see. You understand my point? So now take for example, I want to believe that if those three individuals are arrested and charged to court, definitely their treatments are definitely going to be different. So for a commoner, he might not even have a time, a proper schedule to be attended to, or isn't to be for their hearing, in the court. So the court hearing might get delayed, get adjourned and postponed or something like that, which keeps him in jail. And these postponements are not postponements of we'll come back tomorrow or come back next month. We're talking about postponements of come back in the next 6 months or come back in the next 8 months. That's the kind of postponements I'm talking about. You understand what I'm trying to make? So if when you realize you would have spent like 5 years in jail, not in prison. Although it happens that sometimes, whenever you get here, eventually, sometimes you even if you're sentenced, maybe your offense and you guilty of the offense and then you're sentenced. So at the end of the day, rather than maybe you sentenced to, let's say, 10 years imprisonment. So those years that you spent behind the bar sometimes will be deducted from your sentence. So you're not going to now start over again. So because you've been in jail, of course. So you may just even if the weight of your offense is 5 years and then you've already spent the 5 years in jail, so it might just be possible that you just be released almost immediately. So that happens. And then the case of a soldier, for example. So the soldier would definitely be treated as a civilian because he's in the civilian world as far as that is concerned. So he's definitely going to be handled that way. And there are scenarios, those soldiers, in fact, their officials, like the military people, definitely came and then rebuked them no, we don't know these people. They're not our soldiers. So, because they knew the weight of what they did. Do you understand? So they came immediately and disowned them that, no, we don't know these people. They're not part of us. Even if they are, but they discharged them. They're not part of them. You understand my point? So So and that's that. So that's to show that even the soldier, despite wearing his uniform, is still a commoner at the end of the day. If he gets caught, gets fined. If he's found wanting.
So Pelumi, don't you have something funny to ask?
Although there's hierarchy to that.
Okay, talking about hierarchy now. That's what I actually wanted to talk about. Pelumi, you agree with me that there's this status symbol now when it comes to incarceration. You don't expect a high-profile offender to be in Kirikiri, Lion Building, or Panti.
I think they even have, I'm not exactly sure, but I think they have this motel there where...
Oh, glorified prison.
You are there with TV, they can cook indomie for you, especially with fried egg. And I think they have a motel there with people that are of a different caliber. But I think we spent so much time talking about somebody the bail part and also the judiciary part. But I think let's talk about something that caught my attention when we were discussing about it before the show, which is about the situation of our prisons in Nigeria. And the first question that comes to mind immediately is, what is a prison meant for?
So by definition, it's supposed to be a correction center, So the term correction basically means that this person has done something bad in the society. So we pull him or her, we pull them out of the society, we pull them there, and then we reorient them. That's how, okay, this thing that you've done, it's not good. 1, 2, that's the punishment for your offense, because you shouldn't go unpunished, because every crime has its own punishment, like sets of. So that's why where constitution comes in. So the constitutions are there in order to put everybody in check. So there has to be a consequence to whatever you do, whether the consequence is minute or big. The point is it's meant to teach the other person not to do it. So there's consequence. It's just like the law of physics. It's like you're driving. If you drive in a corner, in a sharp corner, and you speed through a sharp corner, you're definitely going to tumble. It's the law of physics. It's the law. That's your consequence for doing that. So the same thing happens to the correctional facilities that we have. That's the point of it.
Okay, because every time a question is asked, I like for us to look at it from the perspective of being in a saner climate where things work.
Yep.
Back in the day, it was when I was in private school. God forgive me. Plenty of us wanted to go to.
So you you're also an offender.
No, this part I don't want it to happen to me in the name of Jesus Christ. Many of us then, because we at some point as a young child, I loved seeing movies a lot, and I would see that. I'll see that people who I think we're told. I don't know if the person was informed enough. He told us, in American prison, fried rice in the morning, you have your own bed space. You have your place to take your bath. You have mirror to see yourself. You play basketball. I don't know if you've seen movies like that where they play basketball. Yeah. You're like, even you that you are free, you are not playing basketball.
So the thing is, even over there. So it depends on the kind of offense you have. So I think maybe that's also trickles down to that example that you gave earlier. So even overseas, so it depends on the kind of offense that you've committed. If you are, let's say, you are a rapist, you are a serial killer, you are this person that's definitely you have to be removed from society. Definitely, you're going to a high, maximum security prison. But let's say you are a fraudulent person like Elizabeth Holmes, or maybe you are Sam Bankman-Fried.
You're going to the penitentiary.
So you are going to prison, but your prison, like, it's not like because you are a billionaire, so they don't need to put you among those serial killers and rapists. They will just put you among your fellow billionaires. Soft life. So their prison systems too, like it's well organized too. So I think the same should have applied here.
So just to pin on your point, the prison is supposed to change a person.
Exactly, that's the point.
Okay, so the punishment part of going to prison is that your freedom is taken
away from you. Yeah.
But what should happen is by the time you are leaving that place, something should have happened to your mind.
Exactly.
But, before we come to Nigeria, let's talk about, like I said, a sinner client. What do you think makes a person who goes to an American prison and lives there and becomes a better person? What do you think they have put in place to ensure that system works?
So, before I continue, so like I mentioned earlier, it depends on the kind of offense you've committed. But secondly, they have, should I say, lots of reorientational activities. And then, you meet with some people that come to advise you, teach you, and help you to be a better person. So counseling, therapy, and so on. Because many people go through traumas, and so many people latch out based on the demon that's within them. So sometimes some people might not even be able to afford all those basic things. Like I don't think visiting a therapist is basic though, because it's sort of expensive, but so to speak. But the point I'm trying to make is like some people need to, you need to be heard. Some people need to be heard, because we've heard scenarios whereby some people, someone that is having depression decides to kill his wife, kill his children, and then kill himself. Or so many weird situations and scenarios. But the point I'm trying to make is like that place, that prison. Maybe the word prison is derogatory, but that system, when you enter into that system, the point is we want to refine you back into what we want you to be. Now in China have this reorientation camp. Although Americans used to call it, what are they calling these German camps back then? Concentration camps.
Camps.
So Americans used to call it concentration camps. Now, what is China doing? So China is occupying Xinjiang. Is it the Uyghurs community? If you know the Uyghurs are not really Chinese. Like they are not Han Chinese like the ethnicity. They are more or less like Turkish. They even have different
Turkish extract.
Exactly. So they have different culture, but they are all Chinese. China is like a giant country, but there are different ethnicity within them. There are the Tibetans. So the point I'm trying to make is so the Chinese government, because the Han Chinese are like they are in fact the largest ethnic community in the world. So the Han Chinese government, the current government, so they used to pick people that offend, that commit offense, or that they presume will commit an offense, or probably commit an offense, Those are two things. People that have committed offense, or people that they think will commit an offense. They take them to those reorientation camp, to teach them the CCP, like the Communist Party
ideology.
You understand? So they could be there for like a year. I think it used to be like 6 months or something like that. But Americans are like, this place is concentration camp that people are supposed to be free. Like after all, they've not committed any offense yet. Like, why are you picking people and putting them in? So like it's two worlds apart. The Western world sees it differently, but the point I'm trying to make is that the system is meant to shape you into the society, like assimilate you, like you are meant to assimilate into this society. So the CCP are trying to like bring those Uyghurs like compulsory. This is the way we are doing it. This is China, so we own China. So whether you like it or not.
Okay, well, when you mentioned about China putting the system in place, what came to mind immediately was that that is supposed to prevent, that's supposed to preempt crime, where we see somebody has a tendency of committing crime, and then we take the person out of the street and say, come to this system, come to this school, and then we help you build your mind. But something else we can also say that has helped them. Would you say that quality food has helped America and some of these top countries in the world ensure that
Did you say quality food?
Oh yeah, quality food. Yeah, quality food. They have recreational instruments there, where they have basketball there. They have a system that ensures that they have a routine of prayers and all of that. Do you think this has helped? Before we now come, I know Jawa has something to say about Nigerian prison. Before we now come here, do you think these things have contributed to how much of success they've had with the turnover of people going in there, coming out as better citizens? What do you think?
So there was even a time that some people were agitating that what's even the point of the prison system in the first place, because it seems that it doesn't work anymore. We have seen whereby people go into, somebody that went into the prison as a thief, or should I say a petty criminal, came back to become a highway robber.
He got tips.
You understand where I'm trying to?
He got tips how to be better. Because there's even a saying that if you go into Nigerian prison, the tendency you will come back is high.
It's very, very high. You
will just like the atmosphere.
You blend it.
Exactly. So the point is, that was what I was trying to say earlier. That's the term prison itself. So it's not doing what it's even overseas. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. People just go there like, hey, let me just go there to go and chill, just waste my time and re-strategize.
You mentioned inviting a psychologist. I will pass the mic to the other. Okay. So a pastor was preaching one time, and he said that one time he went to the prison to preach, and they took his phone. He didn't know when they took his phone, and they came out for altar call.
Yeah.
They still took his phone in the prison.
Yeah. So that's the point. So now take for example, Nigerian government claims, because it's a claim that I would say, Nigerian government claims that they spend up to ₦1 million on each prisoner every year annually. So a prisoner gets to spend. So and the money is meant because it's meant to cater for your feeding, your accommodation, everything. So can we say that ₦1 million is enough? It's not a question. Like, it's a rhetorical question. Like, can we say it's enough? Because if we are to judge by the current state of the current atmosphere of the Nigerian prison system, so we will be convinced that are they even spending up to 100,000 on these people per year? Because we've seen pictures, we've seen these people don't even have roofs in the prisons. There are some prisons. There was a video I watched recently. I think it was a prison in the east or something like that. Part of the building has collapsed. I think it was due to a heavy rainfall or something like that. So they were inside this flooded place. Hundreds of men, no clothes. So it was very, very horrible. Like, you understand the point? And then we'll be like, okay, so what's not the point of the prison? Are we just condemning, or do we just want to kill everybody? Like, okay, just kill them, and because they are not useful to the society. Because that's the way government is seeing it. Government is seeing prisoners like, these people are not useful. Let's just keep them here. We don't care whether they live or whether they kill themselves or whatever. Because that's the way, that's the message that's been portrayed. So that's where the detriment of the term prison.
Okay, let's kick in from there. Oftentimes, these correctional facilities are congested. You practically see people sleeping. I've seen pictures. where prisoners are sleeping while standing. They can be modeled up in a particular room. A facility can be for probably 4 people, but you end up seeing 40 people in there, which ought not to be. You made mention of 1 million naira. Now, this 1 million naira, is it per person?
Yeah, per person.
1 million naira per person.
Yeah.
Is it daily, weekly, or monthly?
No, per year, annually.
Annually. Yeah. So we divide 365 by 1 million. How much is that per a day?
I'm not really good in mathematics, but I think initially there was an estimate that it was up to like 15,000 rand that is being spent on a single on an individual prisoner daily. So that's like 5,000 the morning, 5,000 the afternoon, 5,000 daily. And considering the current state of things, like the crazy hike,
rising cost of
exactly.
feeding.
So can we conveniently say that 5,000 naira is enough to house someone, feed the person daily?
Well, that's a very dangerous statement made, because there are people that are free. I don't even spend up to that amount in a day. That statement could even increase the crime rate. What do you think, Odiawa?
I agree with you.
Okay, but what I'm even saying, the question I'm even trying to ask is it even evident that these people are even spending up to 5,000 naira in the morning, 5,000 in the afternoon, 5,000?
Evidently, I will agree that it is not actually working. Why? Because we have a very corrupt system, a situation whereby we even have the security officials who are in the correctional facilities.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think according to private.org, they're spending 33,000 to feed inmates. So individual inmates gets access to 33,000 naira, and then that's the budget as at 2023. That was last year. It was 22.44 billion just on feeding. That was last year. So each individual is entitled to 33,000 daily. Yeah, 33,000.
But
are those guys eating 33,000 naira worth of food daily?
We tend to agree that it is not quite factual. Why? Because they are practically looking hungry.
Of course.
So we'll agree that these people are not actually being taken care of compared to why? Because of pictures you see. I mean, the other time, Senator Adams Oshomole was ranting about how prisoners were taking a fine. Yes, they've committed offenses and they are not even, cared or catered for. Now, the situation now should be, how do we correct them? And when the system fails in correcting them, they will still definitely come out. Why? Because they've not been properly corrected. Okay, with all you said, Lawrence, now, what solutions will you prefer with the police, the judiciary, and also the correctional facilities?
I will say that number one, the most important thing is to build infrastructures, definitely. So there should be structures in place. There should be categorizations of prisoners. Somebody who is going to maximum prison should be different from somebody who is going to just low level. Or
so depending on the offense,
exactly.
There should be.
So not everybody shouldn't just be lumped up into one. Somebody that maybe only stole a chicken is being lumped up with somebody who killed 80 people. So
okay.
Exactly. So the point is like there should be the system should be in place in order to make this happen. Then secondly, it's meant to be a correctional facility, not a condemned facility. It's not a concentration camp. So this should be this means a lot. So the government should know how to reapproach the issue. Also the issue of pardoning. So people who have been there for too long, check their track records. Have they committed offense while they are there? Have they tried to escape? If they've there should be paroles in place. Like after 5 years, if you do well, we'll release you based on parole or something like that. So everybody shouldn't just be lumped into prison. Whether somebody that is jailed or someone that is sentenced into prison. So those are the things that the government should put in place. Then secondly, the judiciary system, they should they should hasten their processes. I totally understand the fact that the case of doing the investigation takes time, takes a lot of time, but things should be hastened. At least that's why they are being paid. And then the police should be, maybe more police officers should be employed, because the current, the current personnel that we have, I don't think they are enough to cater for the 200 million plus Nigerians that we have. So, yeah, so those are my thoughts, and those are the solutions that I think we can put in place to change the system. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Lawrence. Bellamy, do you have anything to add up before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think I'm just saying that there's a story of a school that was said to have a lot of criminals there, and what they did was that they employed a strategist, a consultant, who came to the school and looked around and realized that the paint on the walls of the school, black. So what they did was they told them to lighten the school, then paint it white. And it was said that the crime rate of that school reduced a lot. So I think the structure of our prisons should also be looked into. There is no society. That's why there is no society, there is no country without a prison. Yeah. And the idea is people will commit crime. And when they commit crime, they are supposed to get to that place and then encounter a superior environment that restructures their mind for good. But usually and like you've said already, I just want to pin on that a bit. I've said already, they leave the outside world, go to the prison, and then they come back even worse to even harm more people. They come back with vengeance. They come back with a lot of violence, with something to just ensure that they inflict more pain, and the tendency that the person goes back there is even higher. And the points you have mentioned are really valid. But I think we didn't mention about technology, the place of technology. And it will help a lot in tracking crimes. It will help a lot in tracking people, because this is it. So I know you use there are different project management softwares now, Asana for instance, or you could have Excel for instance, where we have the names of people who have offended on the sheet. And these are things that we have, these people have systems in the offices where you have the name of somebody who has offended, the day the person got to the prison, the person's offense. I'm already drawing columns now, yeah? And then there's a system that shows that the person has, in a way, this is when the person got there, this is when the person should leave. That's the system already shows you who is to leave next. So we may need to embrace technology in ensuring that there is total reform. We cannot make any reformative move now without the involvement of technology. I've enjoyed my time here. What do you think?
I agree with you concerning that there should be technology in place to know first offenders, second-time offenders, third offenders, or maybe uncountable offenders, as to know how to employ the judicial police or incarceration process. Well, we've heard it all from Lawrence on correctional facilities. It is evident that tackling prison congestion in Nigeria requires a multifaceted approach that involves cooperation and coordination with various stakeholders: police, judiciary, prison authorities, and civil society. By implementing the recommended solutions, Nigeria can work towards a more efficient and fair criminal justice system that upholds the rights of individuals while ensuring public safety. I'm Odiawa AI, and the show has been the Vigilant Podcast. Thanks for listening.